Hey everybody, it's your girl Tara Michelle. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel, Opinionated Scents, our safe space to discuss all things fragrance, whether we like them or not. So today we're going to shake it up a little bit. We're going to play a little get to know me better type of game. I asked you guys to send me your questions and you did, both on IG and in YouTube on my community tab page. So let's jump right into it. The first question is, if you could go back to the beginning of your fragrance journey, knowing what you know now, what fragrances would you gravitate toward that you did not at the beginning? Delena. I say Delena first and foremost because it is my gateway niche fragrance. She is the first fragrance that just hit me like a ton of bricks. I did not like it for 4 straight days, and then all of a sudden just fell in love. You know, I couldn't make any sense of it when I first smelled it. I was like, it's so tart and it's just so sour. Like, who will want to smell like this? Like, what are we doing here? And then the next thing I know, I can't be without it. I would also think about LaBelle, because if I'm being honest, LaBelle brought me a feminine, sexy vetiver. Like, who knew? And then I could also throw in Mon Guerlain with that lavender, because I used to hate lavender for years. And it brought me back into a different lavender, like a grown and sexy lavender. So, an MFK with the peekaboo hiding, you smell me one minute, you don't the next, but everybody around you always does. Come on, that's a masterpiece fragrance. So I think I would look to my top 10, my current top 10, and let that guide me. I probably would just choose those top 10 to start my fragrance journey. There's a lot that I would skip that I used to have back then, but not many. I think I am where I am today because of the things that I used to love and all of the growing I've done. The next question is, if you could create a perfume that reminds you of yourself, what would the notes be and what would the name be? Well, seeing as how I'm getting more curious about making perfume, I don't want to say the name because then I put it out there and somebody could take it, you know? So that one I will hold close to my heart. But as far as the notes, this is just me currently. If I was actually going to make a perfume and I had a team and the opportunity to do that, I would be trying to go for things I've never seen before. I want to travel the world to smell and test and just be all in to create some amazing, beautiful fragrance, you know? The next question is, if Fragcom were to meet up, what would you wear? If we were meeting up in the spring or summer, I would wear Limon Verde from the House of Aqua Allegoria, because most of the people that I know in Fragcom that I hang with don't talk about that fragrance. And if we were to meet up in the fall or winter, I would wear Spiritus Double Vanille, because it's a beautiful, rich fragrance, but it's not loud. So I wouldn't be trying to show up anyone there, because a lot of people probably would, and it's just going to be this chaotic, you know, craziness of everybody smelling fantastic. I would be more reserved and just to myself. And I think that that is what Spiritus Double Vanille brings to the table. The next question is, what do you do for fun besides YouTube? I love to write. I have a master's degree in creative writing, so I love to write poetry and short stories. And I'm trying to be brave enough to start writing a book about my life. The whole terrible childhood thing kind of stunts me in that project, but I'll get there eventually. I also love to take pictures, like of my kids, of, you know, plants and flowers and animals. It's very therapeutic to just pull out my phone and go up to a park or go for a walk and just catch what I catch, you know? I see the beauty in things that a lot of people don't. I just like to pay attention. The next question is, who are your Fragcom besties? Well, I have to shout out my subscribers before I can talk about anybody else, because my subscribers are so amazing. I never have any drama. Even when I don't have the same opinion as them, they will come in and talk to me about what they like about. And I've had a few of my subscribers explain something to me about a perfume and ask me to give it another chance. And I'm like, you know what? I see what you mean. You know what? And sometimes something can grow on you. And then sometimes I'm like, I see what you mean, but this still is not for me. And we are all okay with that. We know how to agree to disagree. So, first and foremost, I love my subscribers. Thank you guys for being so mature and so amazing. Now, I'm going to shout out 3 particular people, and this is by no means my entire list of people who I just rock with. There are so many people I enjoy watching and I absolutely adore that the list would be too long to just state that. So I'm going to shout out 3 people who just, they're special in their own way. And a lot of other people I've already given love to, like, come on, Arlene from Delicious Delights, she brought me Narciso Rodriguez and Hermes. So forever love her. But right now, I want to talk about, first and foremost, Rebecca Cuellar, who has got to be one of the most amazingly kind, beautiful, sweet spirits and souls I've ever come across. The energy that I get from her every time I interact with her, whether it is on Instagram or here, is nothing but pure. I rock with her for forever. She was somebody who championed me to start my channel, and after I did, helped me when I was trying to navigate my way through that newness, getting my channel up and running. Love her. The next person is Lulu. I found Lulu relatively, recently. I think it was like November, and it was on an Absolute Live. So since then, it's been a whirlwind. Like from November to now, we have done, 2 or 3 lives together. We just cut up together. If you've ever seen me and Lulu together, then you know. Those who know. That's the homie. we don't agree on anything almost in perfumes. Maybe 5 perfumes we share in common that we like. Maybe. And that's still the homie, Love to converse back and forth with her. Love to butt heads with her, because guess what? Perfume is subjective. Who cares? But I have absolutely the most fun with that crazy woman. It's all love. And the third person is someone actually new. Amy Glam. First of all, she's stunning and her accent is everything. She also lives in Puerto Rico, so I'm hella jealous. But we have a lot of similarities in our the perfumes that we like. I think I feel more connected and close to her in things that I love than anybody else currently on YouTube. And it's refreshing because I've kind of splintered off from my original 5 Holy Grail members that I had. So now the person who can move me the most, if she throws up a video or something I don't have, I will go and get it. I don't look for samples. I will go to the store and pick it up. And she hasn't steered me wrong yet. The next question is, what is your favorite vintage perfume and why? I don't think I have one because I'm not a vintage girl. Like when I think of vintage, maybe you're talking about Clinique Happy or Burberry for women, because those are like perfumes that were made in like 1992 and sometime in the 90s. I don't remember with Happy, but vintage, I'm not a vintage girl. I used to love Chanel No. 5 when I was a little girl, so it'd be interested to smell it again and see if it's still what I remember. And I used to also love White Diamonds when I was a little girl. So I wonder if I still like that. But vintage, that's not really my vibe. The second question that the same person asked is, what discontinued fragrance would you bring back if you could and why? I don't even think I know what discontinued fragrances are missing. And if we're talking about older ones, the only thing I can think of is if they don't make the original formulation of Sweet Honesty and Far Away anymore with Avon, I would like them to bring back the original formulations. Maybe the original formulation of Hypnotic Poison as well, because the dupe for that, Hypnotizing Venom, that is fire. The next 4 questions come from Amy Glam herself. Her first question is, was it harder to go from having 0 children to 1 or from 1 to 4? So I think on the emotional tip, it was harder to go from 0 to 1 because it goes from just being about you and your spouse to this new life that you guys have created and wanting to shield and protect them from the rest of the world. Like I was so infatuated with, and I love my new baby. Like he was mine. And then the whole breastfeeding, for the first time, like it just was beautiful. And my emotions were just so wrapped up in this beautiful bundle of joy. And my son was walking at 7 months. He was just so stellar as a baby. Everything you could ever want in a baby and a toddler, just so smart. So from that standpoint, it was harder to adjust to a life when you now have another life that you are solely responsible for. You know what I'm saying? Her second question is, what do you do for fun? Which I've already answered. Her third question is, what type of food do you like? So I love Italian and Mexican. I really like a lot of different foods, but those two genres take it from me. If I could only have Italian and Mexican for the rest of my life, I'd be totally fine with that. And her last question is, what type of music do you listen to? So I listen to everything under the sun, but mostly older stuff. I'm definitely a Motown girl. I'm definitely Prince, Michael Jackson, you know, all of that good stuff. Anthony Hamilton, Maxwell. I love good R&B, great R&B. So now I just use Spotify and I play everything that I love. There's not a lot of new artists out here that I want to hear anything from. The girls are completely loose, nasty, and ratchet. I don't play that game. So you won't see a Meg Thee Stallion or a Cardi B on any playlist of mine. Let me not say that, because Bodak Yellow was my jam. But that is my inner rage monster that likes that song. And I do not give that thing too much time out in the elements. Like, I don't let it come up for air often, because that could be problematic. But yeah, like I get in my Adele. I love Taylor Swift. Don't judge me. You know, after the whole country thing. I think the first album I ever listened to of hers was Red. So anything before Red, I don't know. Amy Winehouse, Duffy. You know, I love Metallica, Pearl Jam, Korn. I love Leonard Skinner and Journey and Twisted Sister. And, you know, give me some 80s pop, some 80s soft rock. Give me Floyd, Pink Floyd. Give me AC/DC. You know, I don't care. I don't care. It depends on what I'm, you know, in the mood for. I know my least favorite genre is country. Now, Shania Twain back in the day, and that Wide Open Spaces album by Dixie Chicks all day. When I was in college, yes, I listened to those. I had a moment, okay? And there are some Florida, Georgia line type of, if they doing a collab with Nelly, I'm here for it. But I can't do Brooks and Dunn's, Honky Tonk, Bonnie Raitt, whoever did whatever, you know, no. Another one is new hip hop. Like, I don't want to hear mumble rappers, Migo, trash. I don't do any of that. But you can give me some Kendrick Lamar. You can give me some J. Cole. You can definitely give me some Lupe Fiasco, although he isn't currently making music. I can go back and listen to any of his albums, and it's a whole vibe. CeeLo, 3 Stacks. Listen, Busta Rhymes, Eminem. People be hating on Eminem. I do not care. That boy spits on that mic and kills almost everybody who's out right now. So, all of it. The next question is, how was your first Mother's Day? So I gave birth to my first child in the end of April 2001. So let's just say, again, even after I had him, like right before I had him, my marriage was already falling apart. It was just not a good time. He was the single solitary person and soul and thing that kept me adrift and sane and emotionally stable at that time. And so I had him at the end of April. I have no idea what my Mother's Day was like. I'm pretty sure it was just me and him home alone. And then right after Mother's Day, like, you know, 2001 was pretty hard. Aaliyah died that year, and Aaliyah was my favorite artist. And then right after she died, we had 9/11. Like, it was crazy. So I really don't remember my first Mother's Day, but I know I had just had my baby. You know, he was like 2 weeks old or however far in between his birthday and Mother's Day. And I had him, so it had to be fantastic, even if it was just my baby and me. Her next question is, have you reached the point where you know what every note smells like? Not even close. There are things I can't even pronounce and have never been anywhere near, so no. The next question was, what direction is your nose heading into currently? Well, spices, actually. Messing around with Dua, I'm starting to love their use of incense, and I'm really starting to get into spices and smokier things, which is not my normal judge. I'm not all the way there yet. That's why I'm still playing around with this Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink 25, Pink Pepper 25. I'm trying to get a grip with that pink pepper sitting right there on the top with that zesty bergamot. It's tearing me up, y'all, but I'm getting used to it. I'm building up a tolerance because that perfume, the more and more I wear it, the more fire it is. I have to give it props. This next question I was asked 8 times by 8 different people, mostly on IG, but I think a few times in the community tab too. Why or what motivated you to start a channel? Well, all of the regular subscribers who were running around the same YouTube channels as me, they were telling me to do it for over a year. And several YouTubers who I was always conversing with were like, girl, we'd love to see your collection. I swear you know about everything we talk about. You got everything we talk about. Why are you not on here with a channel? And I was working the nerve up because I really didn't want to be in front of the camera. I was perfectly happy in the comment section. But Ariana Grande released REM. And the majority of the people that I watched at that time tore it apart, calling it a masculine cologne fragrance. And I just didn't get that. I just didn't feel that. I loved REM so much that is what made me finally just say, okay, I'm crossing the line. I'm starting a channel. And if the only review I ever put up is of REM, so be it. And my channel was born. September 25th, 2020 is the first time I uploaded my first YouTube video. This next question is phenomenal. It says, if you were allowed to work alongside a perfumer, who would you choose? And why did you choose that perfumer or that fragrance line? Originally, and even a month ago, if you had asked me this question, the answer would have been Maison Francis Kurkdjian. He's my favorite perfumer. I would love to work alongside of him and just see how he works. Get inside of his head and add a little bit of my flair to his already perfected design, okay? But I would like to create something with him that was so unlike him that no one knew it was him until he announced it. You know, because sometimes some of his perfumes are a vibe. You smell it and you go, oh, MFK did this, because it's just this thing he does. I would like to shake it up a little bit. However, now, because of the new release of La Belle Le Parfum Intense, I want to get on over there with that Jean Paul Gaultier crew and play around with that and tweak it to what I think I wanted it to be. Because that hurt me. It's a beautiful fragrance. I just think it can be a lot better. The next question is for someone who says she's new to my channel. So hi, welcome. Thank you for joining me. You asked me where I'm from. I am from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a Midwest girl here in the United States of America. You also had a second question for me, and that is there any perfume that no matter how ridiculously expensive it is, I will always keep it in my collection? These are some really great questions, y'all. You guys made me think, because here's the thing. I always say, Delena's top 10 for life and MFK 540's top 10 for life. I can honestly say that right now because I feel like I'm going to have those bottles for life. Like I never make it through them. Like I haven't put a dent in either of them yet, even though I've worn them plenty of times. You don't have to spray a lot with them though. So that's where the hang up is. I honestly don't think that I would turn around and repurchase them right after I finish the bottle. I don't think so. For me, the only expensive perfume, which is $200, that I know I want to always have, and that's because it's my favorite vanilla, is Vaniglia by Mazzolari. That is something I currently, at this time in my life, think I always want to have in my collection. What are some of your favorite TV shows? Man, I haven't been watching everything that I used to watch. Like I used to love the cop show and the medical show and the firefighter show that all came on Channel 5, like NBC. What are they called? Like, with that fine dude that used to be with Lady Gaga and the firefighters and the dude from House. I can't remember what those are called. But the cop one, Hank Voight, Chicago PD, Chicago Med, and Chicago Fire. Yes. I haven't watched any of those since the whole pandemic thing. I don't even know. It's, I got rid of Charter Cable because they was trying to, they played too much with their prices. And then I just went basically to Hulu and Netflix and Paramount and Disney and all of them, get the little bundled thing. And I miss those shows though, because Hank Voight, I don't know what he's up to lately, but baby, love him. Love that character. what is that fine? What is his name in that? Oh, that man is so fine. Anyway, let's move on. I used to love The Cosby Show, and I still do. So older shows, The Cosby Show, A Different World, Mama's Family, Today's Special, The Letter People, all-time favorites. I loved a lot of the shows that I really, really like are canceled, but I will go back and binge them anyway. Supernatural, Winchester, do not his daddy too, John Winchester. Ooh. But Dean Winchester is so Jensen Ackles, he's so fine, it's disgusting. So, but nobody touches Jason Momoa, so don't play. But Supernatural, Criminal Minds, so glad that's coming back. Oh my God, Dr. Spencer Reed. Hello. I love SWAT. I'm obsessed with MacGyver. Like, I really feel like I could be somewhere with a bobby pin and just, make an airplane. Like, he's straight me having me think, come on now. What else? I love NCIS Los Angeles. I love Elementary. Anything about Sherlock Holmes, I'm obsessed. I love documentaries about the planet and about humans and like the Mayans and older civilizations. I love to learn. And I'm just obsessed with animals. Anything in the sea, Shark Week, all of that stuff. It's just amazing to me. So yeah, I feel like I'm missing so much with TV shows. So I don't want to leave out, but I do. If you have like a great Criminal Minds type of, I used to like the hospital shows, like The Good Doctor's excellent. House is my all-time favorite. I used to love ER. Grey's Anatomy has gone on far too long. I stopped watching like 3, 4, 5 years ago, and I still feel like it's too much just because I know it's still out there. I mean, come on, guys. But I guess everybody needs a job, so I ain't trying to hate, but no. So yeah, I could talk about TV shows for forever, even though I don't really watch them consistently. The newest show that I started watching that I really like is called Clarice, because it's from Silence of the Lambs. Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, baby, they did the dang on thing. So I immediately jumped to that show, and I really, really like it. So yeah. The next question is, how did you learn to recognize all of the different notes in your perfumes? So let me just say that I am still a work in progress with that. But guys, I've had a nose like a bloodhound since I was a kid. And I know what I like and what I don't like. I grew up in those days when everybody had a garden. All your neighbors were out there gardening. So I used to love flowers. I was always around flowers. Always in and out of florist shops, because back then, whether it was for a birth or a funeral or something, we was always out there getting flowers for somebody when I was with my granny. I've also frequented flea markets. I had an aunt who used to work at a flea market. Because I was a cute little girl, she would take me with her, and I would really be good at talking people into purchasing her stuff. But I used to also go off on my own, and I used to talk to the Haitian women and Jamaican women and African women who would be up there with their soaps and their herbs and their teas and all these aromatic things and these plants and these flowers that weren't from here. And I learned a lot about different and various roots and things that you can use. I used to work at a River City Health Nutrition. It used to be a health food store here. So I have always been into essential oils and herbs and just getting my hands on natural, holistic things, because I don't care for Western medicine. So when you're around these aromatic things, you learn more. The botanical gardens, there's so many different places you can go to get your nose on things that aren't naturally growing here. And honeysuckle is everywhere, and that's one of my I just love the smell of it in real life. It is amazing. Soulard Farmers Market here. You can go down there and find people with everything from plants to herbs to these bags of roots and leaves and things that you can find that you can make into teas. It's just amazing. For the things that I have never smelled in real life or gotten a essential oil for, and back then I used to even like incense when I was younger. That's exactly why I'm exasperated with it now. But natural soaps, and there's just so many different things that you can pick up, especially when people are doing single notes of them, that you can get your hands on and become acquainted with it. Do not ever stop looking up, not just places like Fragrantica. Go and look up an article about the perfumer and why they made it and what they used and what they get from it. And then you can also look at Google and all these other places and type in, what does such and such smell like? Read them all. All the answers it gives you, just read them all. Then go and get 5 or 6 or 7 of your perfumes that have said note as a prominent note and study them. Close your eyes, spray it, and study them. Let your mind pick that fragrance apart. Now, I like doing things like this because I'm just weird that way. I was always the kid that loved school, loved learning new things. I'm fascinated by that. Sometimes the way I do things is not fun to people. They're like, I just want to smell good. I don't care why. I don't care, they don't want to get into it as deep as I do, and that's okay. But for me, when I smell it, I want to know what I'm smelling. I want to practice it. If it's something like Maite or Mate or whatever that M-A-T-E word is, look it up. What is it? What does it smell like? I don't have it in enough things, and I don't think it's a prominent note in enough things for me to really pinpoint that one. But that's it. I take a culmination of all things I've learned, experienced, smelled, and studied, and just figured it out. This next question I was actually asked twice. Why don't I ever see you in collab videos? Well, I have collaborated 2 or 3 times with Lulu on her lives. So I have done collaborations before. However, if I'm being honest with you, outside of Josh, Jane, and a couple other people tagging me like to do a tag, no one ever asked me to do collabs. But I did have someone tell me, someone that I really, really adore, and I also see what she's trying to do with her channel. She stresses out about brands liking her. Like, I don't know what her end goal is to be, like the spokesperson for every big house. I think that's a little far-fetched of a dream, because most of these houses are not going to pick any of us to be the face of anything. But she's very careful to never dislike anything. She likes everything all the time, and I am not that person. So she even, explained to me she loves my energy and loves my videos, but she'd be terrified to have me on her channel because she never knows what I'm going to say. And I can respect that. If you come to me and you say, look, I really adore you, I really love you, but you scare me. Like, you're a loose cannon, and I feel like if I have you on my channel, like, you'll scare the brands away. Okay. I mean, I'm fine sitting over here by myself. That's cool. So I'm not against doing collab videos. I just think that my name itself, opinionated sense, comes behind, oh, she's a wild one. You may not want to touch that one. Or maybe I'm just not big enough yet. I haven't hit 2K just yet. I don't know. But I'm open to collabs. I'll put that out there. Yeah, I just don't have anybody beating down my door to be in one. The last 2 questions come from the Fragrantician. Her first one is, do you speak any other languages? I used to be fluent in Spanish. I took it from 7th grade till I graduated high school. But that was so long ago. Like, I've been out of school since June of 1999. Well, out of high school since June of 1999. So when I went to Mexico, I was able to speak it when we were in situations where we were just surrounded by people who only spoke it, like in the supermarket. It just came to me because I was just in a spot where I just had to. Like, I wasn't thinking about it. But because I'm so in my head here in the States, no, not anymore. I can understand a lot of when I hear people speaking. I can understand a lot of their conversation if they're not speaking way too fast. I can read it still, and even if I'm missing what a word is, the context clues will help you fill it in. Those Latin-based languages are very similar in some senses, so I do want to get back into it. My 17-year-old will be taking Spanish all next year, her senior year, so I will be, learning, refreshing with her and practicing with her and, helping her with that, which will also help me get back into the swing of things. I want to be fluent in it again. I love the Spanish language. It is absolutely beautiful. Her last question is, what are your pet hates? Over here, we call them pet peeves, but she's across the pond and she said pet hate. I thought that was so cute. I had to ask for a clarification. So in real life, one of my biggest pet peeves, we know the normal, like liars, cheaters, and thieves, can't stand them. But people who don't use their blinkers correctly when they're driving. I could never become actually violent in a road rage incident. I don't think anybody could trigger me unless they actually harmed me. But there are thoughts that go through my head with people who don't use their blinkers for 2 seconds. 2 seconds, I might want to snatch them up out the car. It's like, how hard is it for you? You got 20 cars behind you. You know you're about to make a right onto the street that I'm trying to make a left or right off of. If you would just cut your blinker on like you supposed to, I would know that it's safe for me to go and do my thing. But no, you want to wait and either not use the blinker at all or wait until you in the turn and it's too late for me to go about my business. Baby, I mean, it really does. For 2 seconds, just I'd be like, I should turn around and follow them home, and then just, nope, I'm a better person than that. Check yourself. Just because they're a complete idiot does not mean that you have to stoop to that level. You know, when they go low, we go high. Okay? So there's that. With regard to YouTube, again, I must say that I have a really great channel. I have really great subscribers. I don't have drama on my page, but I've been reached out to from people in my comment sections normally, and even when I've been on lives, people have found me on Instagram and said, what do you think about this? How do you feel about this? Can you speak on this? And at first I was so irritated, I thought I would be too volatile to speak about it. So I really appreciated this question because I feel like I'm in a better headspace, and I feel like I could be a little bit more clear and objective and get my point across without sounding like, you know, the angry Black woman. So I have 3 particular items I want to talk about with regard to YouTube and my pet peeves, okay? The first thing is people who are unauthentic. People who are gifted things and don't tell people that. They are parading around like they are purchasing these things, which will lead other people to feel like they need to go do it. Look, be honest. If you were gifted something for $700, just say that and we can still decide if we want to buy it or not. But it's a lot different from someone going, oh, you know, I spent, you know, just don't. Please be authentically true to who you are and what the situation is, okay? Secondly, giving credit. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to just give credit. I've seen too many times where people will be tagged in something. They won't do the tag, but they will come out the next day with the exact same video, change one word in the title and just do. And it's like, do you think you're too big at this point? Is that why you would do that to somebody? Because if somebody with 1 subscriber tagged me in something, I would still do the tag. I don't care. And then you have these people who just, you know, I'm just gonna keep it there. Just give credit. If you've talked to somebody on Instagram, or you reached out to somebody, or they reached out to you and they hipped you to something, like, this is from personal experience. I was always talking to this one YouTuber who I adored at the time. We would go back and forth and have full-length conversations on Instagram about stuff. Several things she never heard of before, I hipped her to. She would come back and regurgitate everything I said on her channel and then say like a real big YouTuber was the one that told her about it. And then a couple of times I had to go into my Instagrams and go, did you forget we talked about this? Oh, girl, yeah, I totally forgot about that conversation. Oh, you mean this 18-paragraph conversation back and forth? You forgot about that? No, it was that at the time I didn't have a channel, and then when I did, I was too small. That's what it was. But you wanted to pick my brain about stuff, but you couldn't give me credit. Like, and I had to just disassociate myself from the nonsense. Several people have done that before, and a couple of them have corrected and been like, you know what? I didn't even think to mention it. I don't see how. You just regurgitated everything I said to you. However, it is what it is. I believe fully in what Dr. Maya Angelou said. When people show you who they are the first time, believe them. I'll give you an example of something that I've done. So at 50 Cents UK, I believe she did a tag called Fragrances I Need to Wear More, or I Need to Start Wearing Again, or something like that. So when Josh Jane did her video, a week or 2 before that, I had already filmed my Fragrances I'm Craving video. The same premise though. I was talking about fragrances I had worn in forever, how I needed to pull them off the shelf and wear them. I was going to make a committed effort to wearing them. Once I found out about her tag, even though my video hadn't gone live yet, it was sitting in a stasis. And, you know, I just upload my videos and pick the date and the time and move on about my life, you know. I went back into the description box. I tagged 50 Cents UK and Josh Jane and said, hey guys, even though I only did my top 8, it was because I didn't know anything about this tag at the time. But now that I do know, I'm going to tag her because my content is so similar to her tag. Because why not? If I know about it before I've released mine, of course, Give her shine. Tag her. You know, everybody who does the tag, everybody's going to see the tags. Just keep on tagging each other in the description box. Everybody gets credit. Doesn't matter who started it. Doesn't matter if you had what you thought was an original idea to you right then at the time. So what? So what? And I think I just recently did it again, or I'm about to, because I found out about something else similar to what I want to do. Oh, yeah. With the show us your backup bottles, I already had that in my book is what I was going to do. Well, now there's a tag going on. And again, it's 50 Cent UK. Guess what? Even though I already had that in the bag to do, I'm going to be a part of her tag. Because it doesn't matter that I was going to do it. Hadn't done it. Now I know about her tag. Got to give her credit. That's just how I operate. Give credit. Please. I don't understand why you wouldn't. My third and final pet peeve with YouTube is being tone deaf. Okay? I am not attacking anybody when I say this. I want to keep it as diplomatic as possible, as politically correct as possible. But I was triggered by these 3 instances from 3 people who I've been subscribed to. 3 people who I didn't expect this from. And I'm not going to holler any names because, again, I'm not about the drama. This is about the question that was asked of me, and this is my chance to speak on it in a safe place. You guys know how we do it here. So there was this beautiful goddess who decided that she wanted to make a video calling the perfumes that she had told people to buy for the last 4, 5, 6, how many ever years, tacky. All of a sudden, these hugely, wildly popular designer fragrances are tacky, and you are tacky if you wear them, and you need to throw them in the bin right now if you have them. Come on, sis. Like, I know that your glow up has been real. Your man is beautiful. You beautiful. Everywhere y'all go is beautiful. You know, you out here collaborating with huge houses, making perfumes and selling out in 30 seconds. Great. Your glow up is great. Guess what, sis? Not everybody has that glow up. Not everybody has lived their lives the same as you and whose bank account has flourished in the way that yours has. So to turn around and attack all of the fragrances that you have told these people to go and purchase is a little bit ridiculous to me. So it's all about your delivery. You know how they say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you could have easily come out and said, fragrances I used to love that I no longer like, or fragrances I used to wear for years that I can't stand anymore, or fragrances I used to love that I think are so tacky now. When you add the I, when you take ownership of that, you are letting people know this is just your opinion. But when you say things like don't be tacky, or let's talk about tacky fragrances, you know, for the people who own them, it's implied that if they are wearing them and they own them after they see your video, they are tacky. That's not nice or kind at all. And I think that sometimes we just need to learn how to be better. So, my leg is falling asleep. Oh, so that backlash comes. She releases some videos trying to say, you know, hey, that's not what I meant. And then she comes out and wants to give some alternatives to what you can wear. And then she starts doing more video about designer fragrances because people called her out and said, okay, you got too big for your britches, ma'am. You know, you want to be on this niche and private this and indie that, but don't forget where you came from, sis. And she had to backtrack, walk that stuff back a little bit. Oh, but lo and behold, you have someone who comes out, and I believe this woman did a Don't Be Basic video first, and then released Don't Be Ratchet, or How Not to Smell Ratchet, or whatever she said. I had to laugh. I was in her comments like with all the emoji, the crying, laughing faces, and I was like, this is worse than the other girl's video. Like, what? I knew immediately that I had friends and women that I knew who were going to be triggered, one, by her using the word ratchet. That wasn't created by her culture. It's not from her. That the ebonics and slang term of that, come on, sis, come on. Coming from you, it just was tone deaf. It really was. And even though she tried to clean it up a little bit in her video by giving alternatives, you're still just outright attacking. First of all, come on. You knew that that was a trigger word when you did it. You could have said anything. You also knew the whole premise of your video was going to be triggering because we just saw old girl do it. But I guarantee you saw the likes and the traffic that it brought to her comment section. So you said you're looking for a come up. So what do? You do the same distasteful thing, only worse, to be honest. And then the most egregious act of them all is that when Black women came into your comments and told you how they were triggered, you were deleting their comments. And don't lie about it, sis, because there were too many comments that I saw that they gave me pause to think that automatically disappeared when I came back. One of them specifically to me, responding to something that I said in your comments, just gone. Now, I refuse to believe that all of these women deleted their own comments. I just don't believe that, because they hadn't said anything wrong, and they were so poignant and articulate with their writing that the word choice, that they just came with some truth. I don't think you can handle it. But my thought process is, don't keep the yes men and the yes ma'ams. Use it as a learning moment. These are teachable moments. And people are coming to you, a huge group of people, saying, you disrespected us left and right with this. This is not cool. It's not right. It's not kind. Why are you deleting it? You keep that same energy. You're going to make a video like that. Do you need to be ready for whatever comes to you? Third video comes out. This one hurt me because this girl I definitely liked more than the other two. I do know she's very bougie, you know, very happy-go-lucky. You never see her in any drama. She has released, I remember this one time she released this video talking about top 10 affordable fragrances. I swear the cheapest one on there was $300. All I could respond with was, affordable for who, sis? And I got so many comments and likes. People was like, girl, for real. Because I was looking like, she's just like aloof. Like, I think she lives in her own world. She doesn't realize that not everybody makes the money her and her man do. Not everybody's dripping in Chanel all the time, always. And definitely not everybody finds this subject matter funny. People have expressed over and over again that they're tired of being told that if they're wearing their favorite fragrance, which could be, guys, the only thing they can afford, they're tacky, they're ratchet, and they're basic now. How not to be basic? Don't smell basic. If you're wearing these, it's time for you to stop being basic and wear these. Anytime you have to start a video where you're like, this is just fun, I don't want everybody getting their panties in a bunch, so don't get mad at me. It's my channel, and I think it's funny. You know what? There are a lot of people who have YouTube channels who also think racist jokes are funny, who also think sexist jokes are funny. But when you have and I'm telling you, I've been watching these comments. There are a lot of people who do not like this vibe. I'm gonna say, listen, people are tired of it. You knew it when you did the video. You're the third person that I've seen do it. So to me, you have no excuses. You are better than that. You could have easily said fragrances that I think are basic and alternatives for them, or fragrances that I used to love, but now to me, they smell so basic. Boom. Ownership. Put it on you. Let everybody know this is how you think. Don't turn it around and tell them that if they wearing it, they are basic, ratchet, or tacky. That's exactly what you're doing, and it's not funny to everybody. And because there are enough people who are upset by it, I think we should care. I think as influencers, we should care. This is teachable moments. It's not cool. And then, okay, how to say this politically correct. When you make a post on your community tab or wherever, because people get in your comment section and they say, I'm not cool with this, I don't like this, and you post something talking about, I said what I said. Who are you talking to, sis? Because here's the thing. When people say I said what I said, the energy behind that is, and if you don't like it, do something about it. That is where that saying comes from. That is not a nice and friendly, kind reaction. There's some fire behind that. When you say I said what I said, when you double down on it, My thought process is, okay, when you say I said what I said, so are you going to walk to the mall, or not walk, but are you going to go to the mall this weekend? Are you going to walk around waiting to smell somebody wearing black opium or yellow diamonds or whatever else was on those lists? And when they walk up next to you and you smell them, are you going to turn around and go, wow, sis, you smell tacky? You going to turn around and say, ooh, you smell ratchet? Or what about you, sis? You going to turn around and be like, you smell basic, and I said what I said? I don't think so. I don't think so. And this is the thing for me. When we talk about Twitter fingers and Twitter thugs and people who hide behind the computer and talk stuff all day, horrible, horrible things, trolling people, this is the same thing when you're in front of the camera. If you are saying things that you know bother people and you double down on them, it's the same thing as being a Twitter finger having troll if you won't say that to somebody face to face. You know, you gonna come to a mall in St. Louis and walk up to me if I'm wearing black opium and tell me I smell ratchet or basic? Really? I don't think any of you guys have that personality. I genuinely haven't seen like cruelty and stupidity from you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to know you're putting yourself in danger to come out in real life and do something like that. So all I can take it to be is just tone deafness. Like you really aren't reading the room. You don't know your full audience. And if you guys really mean what you said, because you said what you said, then maybe you should put something on your page that says something like bougie chicks only. You know, you, in order to be a subscriber of mine, you need to make $100K a year and drop $700 on a bottle of perfume every month. Like, let us know what you're really looking for, sis, because you're not reading the room. You're just not reading the room. And it hurts me because, like I said, people know me. They know I'm opinionated. I will hit the comment sections in a heartbeat. And I'm hearing it. I'm also seeing it. I'm reading it. Then I go to lives where people are, you know, venting and letting off their chest. Nobody appreciates that. That's just, I'm going to end it there and just say, you didn't say what you said until you say that stuff to somebody's face. If you really about that life and y'all really think it's tacky and ratchet and basic, show me the vlog where you walk up to somebody you don't know and say that to them because they wearing those perfumes. You're not going to. I seriously hope not. Especially not to prove a point. So why say it on your channel? That's all I want to know. Seriously, I think about the woman who maybe is a single mom with 3 or 4 kids. Husband could have been deployed. She can't make ends meet because maybe he got killed in action or something. And, you know, every 4 or 5 months, she can save up enough to buy a perfume. And all she can afford is black opium. And all she can afford is yellow diamond or, you know, whatever. And here you are calling her tacky. Here you are calling her ratchet. Here you are calling her basic. What are we doing? Since we don't know people's circumstances and we have enough tone deaf moments in this country, man, talking about pet peeve, it is. Because even when I rip a Chanel fragrance to shreds, or I rip Libre and Libre EDT, I am not attacking the perfumer and his family or his sanity or anything like that. I am keeping the ownership on me. And I'm praising anybody who likes it. And I'm telling them to keep rocking it. And I'm letting them know, wear that when we go to brunch together so we know we won't be wearing the same thing. I make a joke out of it. I'm not attacking people because they don't like what I like or because they like stuff that I know everybody's been wearing for 10, 20 years. So what? When you get done, all of those fragrances still smell good. And again, everybody's come up and glow up is not the same. So if they can't replace yellow diamond with whatever it is you want them to, guess what? Yellow diamond it is. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. Please click the like button and select the notification bell so that you never miss any of my future uploads. Bring it to the comments, y'all. Whatever you got. Those of you who agree with those other videos and don't see anything wrong with them, you can come and say that. Those who agree with me and see everything wrong with them, you can say that. Those of you who are neutral, you can say that. You know, I just like to go back and forth with you guys in the comments, pick your brains, and I will always stand up for those who feel like they're being bullied. It's my nature. And I know, I don't think any of those three women, I will say this again, meant it maliciously. I just think they were tone deaf. It was a very just like unnecessary decision to make those videos. So anyway, guys, until then, bye.